Alright, so this is my first video ever, especially for YouTube or for any reason whatsoever. So, I just watched this movie, Inside Job, and it sure told me, or I guess depicted a lot of people that I didn't know about, even though I pretty much understood about how the banking system has been working to control, economies and governments and societies of that nature for a long time. But my qualm, like hopefully everyone else's, is what can we do about it? What can one person do about it? I mean, can we just show up out in front of the White House with a white sign that says, "We want reform, we demand reform," or there'll be more of us? I mean, JFK marched. I'm nowhere near anyone that intelligent, but society is supposed to stand for something, a togetherness, no matter what religion, what color, where you're raised, how you were raised. Everyone should be allowed to have a normal life, especially here in America, where things so readily accessible are taken for granted, like water and security. We're not really that safe, though. We need to do something about it. I don't know what to do about it. I wish I knew something to do about it. I talk about it. That's what I do. I don't ignore it. I'm like the 500-pound gorilla in the room. It's not like it's something I discuss, but if I pick up on other people discussing a similar interest, I will express, similar interests. It's not about sides, really. It's about right and wrong. That's what it all basically boils down to, is right and wrong. And any simple and educated human can depict right and wrong. Call me simple, but that's what it boils down to. I don't know what point I'm making with this video. I don't know what kind of responses I'll get, but something needs to be said. Something needs to be done. And I'll be the first one to go and camp out somewhere and carry my sign every day till they drag me away. And hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully, it becomes so public that it can't be hidden. It must be dealt with. And the people will get what they want, what they were told that they were going to get. And the 1% of America has everything they could possibly ever need. They need to remove their foot from our throat. Maybe Barack really can't do anything. Maybe he fears for his own safety. Isn't that a frightening thing to think? I just wish there was a way to get out his true statements, if those statements that he made to the public that put him in that seat were true, if he meant what he said. And he's obviously been met with different forces telling him what he can and can't do. And obviously he has not been able to remove people from the government that are corrupt, that are beyond human. money is evil, and what happens when society breaks down and the dollar becomes useless? Will we become as humble as Japan has been when their society crumbled right now? I say society because they are a society. They show general concern for human beings. I mean, how long did it take us to clean up Katrina? And it's definitely not clean. They already have government aid. Obviously, this is a travesty that's possibly bigger, but we immediately started rioting. Our police officers stole cars. I mean, we are a civilization here in America. There's too many neighbors that carry guns because they're scared of their neighbors. It's unpleasant. It's not a society. It's typically what you have a militia or a military for, right? Or, for hunting purposes. The thought of coming to your neighbor, I don't know where I'm going with that from regards. I got off track. We can all learn from something from Japan. That's all I have to say on that. But we have to keep our eyes open on what's going on in the rest of the world. We can't just think that Japan is the only hardship right now. There are many other countries that are getting destroyed and ripped apart right underneath our eyes. Granted, we're only allowed to see what we can see, but YouTube is real. Well, at least a lot of it is. And the government can't regulate any of that. Once they start taking things like unions, things like deregulations, I don't mean to talk like an extremist or any kind of, I'm just trying to be an honest person. Those things that you fear, those things have happened in other countries. Those things can happen here. When economies fail, that's what happens. That's what history's shown us. That's what we've studied. That's what you've studied more than me. If you're responding to this, hopefully you're educated. My point's simple. Something's got to be done. And it has to be brought to the eyes of those that are educated, those that stand to a higher morality, not for that of the mighty dollar, but that of you are my neighbor, and I shall look out for you as you shall look out for me. That's what a society is about. We're falling far below that level here in America. What can we do? What can we start to do? Please only positive comments, I hope. Maybe I should redo this. Here's the hope, right? Here's something positive. Even if it has to be negative.